What is the weirdest thing you've heard or had happen to you while using a public restroom? I walked into a public bathroom at a beach and found a big bearded guy nervously staring at the ceiling above the stall while using the only urinal. As I stepped past him toward the stall, he screamed stop. Since his hands were full of wiener, he could only gesture upward with his head. I looked up and saw a very large pigeon sitting in a nest in the corner. With a super thick Slavic dialect, bearded guy says, "Never trust a mother bird." He washed his hands, still staring at the nest, and backed out of the bathroom. In his defense, he did you a solid. Birds might duck you up if you get too close to their nests. When I was a kid, my parents worked in a university as professors and I would go to their offices after school until they finished work and we would go home. Importantly, the men's and women's bathrooms were right next to each other, and they had the type of ceilings which are tiles resting on a grid type metal grid. One day, I was about 10 years old. I went to the bathroom. I was sitting on the toilet in the stall, and for some reason looked up, directly over my head. There was a guy looking down at me. He had climbed up from the men's side, removed the ceiling tiles, and was peeping at the female college students as they went to the bathroom. Apparently I was the first person that looked up. When I was younger, high school age, I had been constipated for a few days. I got the urge while I was in the mall and went to the bathroom. It was empty when I got there and was having a rough time pushing this meteorite out. Then I hear some people walking, a man and a woman talking, then they started making out. Now I was a pretty shy kid, so I tried hard not to make noise and be noticed. Next thing I know, I can see through the crack in the stall that the girl is taking off her pants. I guess it escalated to the point where I was getting nervous, which caused the giant crap I was trying to take to rock it out. They of course noticed, and she says, "Oh crap, someone's in here," then they rushed out. I went into a Target to take a pee. After relieving myself, it was a photo finish. I turned to wash my hands. In the sink, there was a goldfish in a plastic bag. Now, Target doesn't sell fish, so it was kinda odd to say the least. I could tell there was a person in one of the stalls. Concerned that this goldfish had been abandoned, I nervously asked the dude in the stall if this was his fish in the sink. A deep ass voice boomed back at me. "What?" I repeated my question. "Is this your fish in the sink?" There was a long pause, as if the Target pooper was trying to understand my question. He finally replied, "Nah, man, that ain't my fish." So I took it home, had to buy a whole setup, tank and filter, etc. And that's the story of how I rescued a goldfish from the Target bathroom. Someone was taking a crap and eating and talking on the phone. I was disgusted and impressed with the multitasking. I experienced something similar. I had a very spicy lunch at work. By the time I got off of work, in Chicago traffic, it finally hit me. I desperately got off on the nearest exit, took an extra 30 minutes to get to a 8-minute drive to a ramp for anyone not lucky enough to experience the traffic. Basically about to crap my pants, I get to the nearest gas station. I come into the women's bathroom praying for no one to be in there, since it wasn't about to be pleasant to be in the same room. Come rushing in and find a lady at the mirror. No biggie, she's about to leave, right? No. I sit down and start to do my business. It was not silent, both in sound nor smell, but I still hear her at the mirror, and there was a smacking sound, almost like her doing her mascara. No biggie, she'll get the hint and leave soon. Right? No. I continue. Still there. I finish and come out of the stall to her hunched over the sink, on her phone, while snacking on mini sausages. This bitch was full on enjoying herself, while I was violently blowing up the bathroom. She acted completely unfazed, moved out of my way when I needed to wash my hands, and continued to stay in the bathroom when I left. Still on her phone, still eating, sitting on the toilet in a Denny's bathroom. The large plastic toilet paper holder was just missing the cover, so when I pulled on the toilet paper roll, it fell off and rolled perfectly under the stall wall and fell over right behind the feet of a man standing at the urinal next door. The man must have seen it, because I instantly hear him say, "Oh, I got it. Thanks." I said, expecting him to finish his business then help me out. What I did not expect was for him to bend down to pick it up right then and there, but not how one normally bends down. I can guarantee he was midstream when he leaned over backwards like ducking near in the Matrix. I see his legs bend forward, then see his hand reaching down behind him. He bends over far enough to grab the roll, stream still going. It was a urinal with water in the base, so I could hear it. He grabs it and perfectly rolls it back over to me, gives a thumbs up, then stands straight up again. Unducking reel. Edit. I told this story at an open mic stand-up once, which was being held in a small local theater. I tried to get the stage manager to lower the curtain to about my knee height so I could stand behind it and give the proper visual. The stage manager didn't do it and it sorta killed the bit. I'm glad my internet friends get me. I was out drinking one evening. Went to go to the bathroom and there were 3 ladies blocking the guy's bathroom. They told me I couldn't go in. It was the only bathroom in the place and I had to piss bad. I waited about 20 seconds then pushed past them. As I walk in there is one dude at the end of the line of urinals with his junk out not facing a urinal. He's giving it a pep talk saying things like come on bud you can do it and don't let me down again. I take quite a long piss and he keeps talking to his dong the entire time. I exited the restroom and told my buddy what happened. He had to see it for himself, so he went to the restroom. Same girls outside trying to stop him and same dude in there still trying to sweet talk his wang into doing something. Was pissing at a urinal and the guy next to me said don't judge me, I'm a grower not a shower. I mostly ignored him. Then he asked me if I wanted to buy some weed from him. But before I could answer, which would have been no, he said well it isn't real weed, it's fake weed, doesn't actually get you high. It's what I smoke when I'm practicing guitar. Keep it weird Austin. Not necessarily a public restroom. I worked at a financial company with over 2,000 people in one office. There are around 10 different bathrooms in the building, all with multiple stalls/urinals. Anyway, I was on my break and ran to the bathroom to relieve myself. I saw someone in one of the stalls because feet and doors were closed. As I walk up to the urinal, I hear the guy sneeze. I say bless you like people do for some reason. Guy in the stall hits me back with, that wasn't a sneeze. I just left and went to a different bathroom. I was in a stall at work browsing Reddit after using the toilet and just killing time until my break was over. When what can I only tell was a somewhat older man shuffling his way over to the stall next to mine. He then lets out a thunderous fart and sits on the toilet and moans out oh dear god it's the end of days. I immediately put myself together and left that restroom before I heard any more. Worked for a really large company and decided to use the restroom near the boardroom, more private. When I walked in, one of our board members is at a urinal wearing a suit and jacket, with his pants and undies dropped all the way to the ground. Apparently that is how this 70-year-old man has peed his entire life. Just odd. Was using the urinal in the Port Authority men's room when some random guy walks up behind me and says, in a raspy voice, hey kid, I like your hair. Still peeing, I turn around and say thanks, and he says, you like pineapple? Caught off guard I ask, what? Pineapple? At this point I'm zipping my pants back up and starting to turn around to face him. He then points to underneath the wall of the first bathroom stall to a black plastic bag, like one from the liquor store, and says, yeah, you wanna buy one? I got one right there, it's delicious. Sure enough, there's a black plastic bag with a pineapple sticking out of it on the floor of the Port Authority men's room. I told him I was allergic to pineapple. He seemed shocked and, quite frankly, really sad that I couldn't eat his delicious pineapple, and we parted ways. I walked into the bathroom at a hospital food court, was in dire need to relieve myself. As I walked in, I heard some thumping from one of the stalls, like someone was gently pounding on the stall walls. Then I saw 2 pairs of shoes, one in front of the other, under the closed stall door. Due to my need to empty my bladder, I decided to ignore what I saw and took care of business. As I was walking out, the stall door opened, and one of the food court employees came out, alone. He had been changing into his uniform on his way to work, including his shoes. I actually had thought it was 2 guys having coitus in the stall. He must had thought I was crazy as I walked out of the bathroom laughing hysterically at myself. Someone thanking Jesus out loud after every splash. Dude prob had been constipated for days. I can identify with that gratitude.